for the academic year of 2020-2021. We are going to start the meeting. Just hop straight into it. So it is April 6th. It's currently 9:03 p.m. So we're going to start off with motion 1.1, motion to commence meeting. We currently do not have a proper voting function for tonight. Instead, if we can just get everyone to raise their hand as such, this will indicate voting for tonight. So if everyone can just vote to start the meeting. I see Davin's being really creative with the physical hand there. Okay, our VPA Sash is council clerk tonight. So Sash, if you want to just give me a thumbs up when I know that the votes have been recorded.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Is there no way we can get that polling function to work?
Unfortunately, no, because we'd have to stop the meeting and restart, and I'd have to create a new link from another account for that purpose.
Okay, I've recorded the vote, so we can put our hands down now.
Okay, so if everyone can just lower their hands. Okay, we'll be moving on to motion 2.0, which is the call to order. We'll start with 2.1 roll call, not by our VPA, but instead our president, Jaden Slaughter, will now has the floor to conduct roll call.
Awesome. Okay, is Julian here?
Here.
Victoria?
Here.
Emmy?
Here.
Awesome. Joy?
Here.
Megan? Harley?
Here.
Caitlin?
Here.
Catherine?
Here.
Morgan?
Which
William?
one? Here. Here.
Danielle?
Here.
Drew?
Here.
Dominic?
Here.
Megan?
Here.
Mason? Farbad? No. Okay. Natasha?
Here.
Ash Miller? No. Okay. Ash? No. Okay. Asta?
Here.
Mira?
Here.
And Morgan Martell?
Here.
Adeline? No, I don't see her. Sarah?
Here.
Davin?
Here.
Awesome. And I know that we don't have a QSET or Kashi rep here tonight. And Mark is here from the Charlatan.
Yep.
That completes roll call.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Moving on to motion 3.0, which is the land declaration. Jordan, if you could just scroll down. So for the last time this year, on behalf of the Rideau River Residence Association, I would like to acknowledge the Algonquin Nations, whose traditional and unceded territory we are gathered upon today. Carleton University acknowledges the location of its campus on the traditional and unceded territories of the Algonquin Nation. In doing so, Carleton acknowledges it has a responsibility to the Algonquin people and a responsibility to adhere to Algonquin cultural protocols. With that being said, we're going to move on to motion 4.0, which is the approval of the agenda. Sorry. With that being said, could everyone just raise their hand to approve this agenda? Like previously, Sash, just give me a thumbs up when all is good. Oh my God, how do you change the color of your hand? How are you guys doing that? That's cool. Okay. Moving on, 5.0 executives report. So we'll start off with says 6.1, but it's supposed to say 5.1, the president's report. So Jaden, you now have the floor. And if everyone could just lower their hands as well.
Gordon, can you scroll down? Perfect. Yeah, so Talking Raven, last week, Kathleen, she's the president, and I spoke on the university's official podcast, the Talking Raven, where we were able to share a bit about our journey with RRRA and CUSA and encourage students to get involved early on in their time as a Raven. CAB panel, so I was a panelist for the SEO, so Student Experience Offices panel, and it was called Lead In and Lead Alongside other leaders on campus. The purpose of this panel was to encourage students to be more involved on campus next year and highlight takeaways from our positions that will help contribute to our growth as a leader. Residence apparel. So last week we launched our residence apparel. This was an idea that kind of sparked from our residence issues committee after thinking of ways we could remember this very unique year in residence. So the apparel is, well, the order deadline has shut down. So all orders are officially done and they should be arriving around next week. And we're gonna hand them out through the RRRA office. Student Gov Lunch. So last week we had the last student government lunch of the year where the university administration presented their proposed logos for rebranding of the Carleton and Sprott's logo. So you should have all gotten an email last week to give your feedback on the logos. I really encourage everyone to check it out and ensure your voice is heard. Personally, I'm not really a fan of some of the options, so there seems to be a general consensus throughout campus. However, I think take a look for yourself and give your feedback to ensure your voice is heard next year. Study giveaway. So our Residence Issues Committee has been working hard on a forum, a campaign regarding exams and studying for the end of the year. So this ended up turning into a week-long giveaway, which we're launching next week, featuring the members of our committee. So stay tuned for that. We have a great prize. I'll let Caitlin announce it more during her report. And then we also have, I think just Gia is here, but we have our new elects and obviously Mira. So congratulations to Sammy, Giolina, and Mira, who will be stepping into office May 1st. We've already began working with them a bit on transition. So big month ahead and excited to see Ross being left in good hands. And then lastly, I also just wanted to take the time to thank each and every one of you for such an amazing year. I had really high hopes for this association when I was first elected back in 2019 as VP programming. And unfortunately, although it was a great term, I did feel like it was a bit unfinished. So this year I feel as if the association really reached like new heights, I guess. And as our committees, like they were formed, our council has met quorum. We ran our first ever virtual campaigns, Mask Up or Pack Up, Residents Rise Up. The budget was passed on time and students are showing up to our events despite the online year. So I'm really happy to say ending my term now as president, it does feel complete and that is thanks to all of you. So never gonna forget this term and just know that I'll always be around if anyone needs anything, reference letter or advice, don't hesitate to reach out. And that's all from me.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that being said, we'll move on to 5.2, the Vice President Administration's report. Sash, you now have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, good evening, counselors, guests, and our new incoming executive team. I'm not sure if are they here? I'm not sure. Okay, well, one of them is. Well, thank you guys for being here. This is our last council meeting. It feels like it wasn't even that long ago that we were hosting our first council meeting and getting to know you all. This is definitely a bittersweet moment for myself and the executive team. And to start off, I just want to do a little recap of our year. So having started in late July due to the delays caused by the pandemic, we had a lot of catching up to do. Not only were we the first executive team in RRRA history to take over during a global pandemic, But on top of that, the association's finances suffered a lot during the shutdown, and it was largely in debt when we took over. Needless to say, it was certainly nerve-wracking going into our roles, knowing that everything would need to be done differently and navigating these new challenges. But I just want to say, thankfully, we had Jay, and with his previous experience and knowledge of the association, we were really able to get things started right away. And we began our preparations for frosh, opening abstentions, organizing council, applying for various grants and financial aids. And I'm so proud to say that amid all those challenges, we were able to kick off a successful virtual frosh. We got abstentions up and running, and we got our council started on time, as well as completed our budget on time. But it didn't stop there. You know, over the year, we continued to improve our virtual events, learned from our mistakes, started new virtual campaigns such as Mask Up or Pack Up and Residents Rise Up. We rebuilt our website to keep up with the new virtual demand, updated our constitution to include independent candidates for the first time in RA's history, and completed a successful virtual election. So we're also converted our office into a studio to create those virtual events that can also be used for the future as well. And we've created new partnerships with different university organizations and directors, which will help the new team bring their ideas to life faster. So in the end, I'm very proud and I'm happy to report that the association no longer has any debts. And instead, we will be transitioning with a surplus that will help the new team launch into action. And now I want to just take a brief bit of time just to talk about what we can expect next. The executive team and I still have a few remaining events in the pipeline before our term is up. And we also have some last minute housekeeping stuff that we will be discussing later tonight regarding previous motions. With regards to our on-campus store abstentions, we will need to be shut down over the summer due to the renovations that will be happening in Residence Commons. There'll be rolling power outages, so we won't be able to remain open, and all of our refrigerated stock will likely need to be kind of discarded. To prepare for this prolonged shutdown, the team and I are working with our suppliers to limit overstock and prepare some last-minute deals to push out those remaining items. And beyond that, we are currently in the process of preparing our transition assets for the new team. The executive team and I are working to build a new virtual transition format that will help streamline the process and minimize the setbacks. We're designing this new format so it can be used by future executive teams as well. And hopefully this will help add some standardization to the transition process, which we felt was lacking in previous years. And well, with that being said, that wraps it up for my address. This is my last council address as an executive of this association. And I just want to take the time to thank all of you counselors for getting involved and being part of our residence community. RRA started in 1968 with only 600 students, and now 50 something odd years later, we represent 3,600 students on a normal year. But you know, it's students like yourselves that have helped keep RRA alive, and I'm very grateful to have been a part of this association and to have served as your vice president of administration. So sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sash. I almost just cried. Moving on to 5.3, Vice President Programming's report. Jenna, you now have the floor.
Oh my gosh, Sash, you got me in my feels over here. Okay, that was really sad, but I'm excited. Hi, Council. It's nice seeing you all again, and I'm sad this will be my last time being able to say that. Very bittersweet, but I'm excited for the new team coming in. So this is really just going to be a quick update on the last two events that we have coming up this year. So this Friday, April 9th at 6:30 p.m., we are hosting our final speed mingling event in collaboration with CUSA. We just posted the graphic today. If you guys have not got the chance, it's on our Instagram. And I definitely recommend signing up. It's definitely, there's some great prizes. So from what it looks like, there will be a lot of attendees at this event. This is one of the final events. We definitely wanted to have some really great prizes to incentivize students to participate. We'll be giving away AirPods, Capital Collective or Res merch, a ring light, and a merch basket awarded to students who participate. And for our final event, unfortunately, we were not able to have a res formal this year because it was an online year, but I'll be hosting a Jeopardy night on April 14th, just as kind of an end of the year, end of classes celebration. And we'll also be giving away some big prizes. So stay tuned for all the information that's coming for that on our social media. And yeah, that's really it for my updates. But I just wanted to give a great big shout out and thank you all to all the stakeholders who continuously came to council, and special shout out to all the building representatives or committee members who continuously put in so much effort into RRRA this year. And honestly, we would not be here without you guys. You guys have done so much for us this year, and we're really, really appreciative. Also, a huge shout out to my special events committee, who helped me so much with all the event planning. Without you all, I definitely would not have been able to accomplish so many fun events this year. And you guys are amazing. Any of you, need a reference or need anything, I'm definitely always free to talk. So yeah, thank you all, and I hope you all have an amazing summer, and yeah, good luck with your exams.
Thank you, Jenna. Another incredible speech. So now we'll move on to 7.0, the committee reports. So we'll start off with 7.1, which is the Constitutional Review Committee. So if we have a chair or a representative from the CRC committee, you now have the floor.
All right, Q, thank you for that. I will speak to our committee. Now, we had a meeting just last week. It was the 2nd of April, and we discussed a number of things at that meeting, one of which was an item which is on the agenda later today, item number 8.0, which is a motion to correct the previously approved minutes. After looking at some of the parliamentary procedure and the bylaws of RRRA, I brought it up to the committee, and we determined that one of the motions that was declared as failed in the February meeting was actually passed under the rules of our association. So that's an item that I will be introducing later today, and I talked to the committee about as well. We also discussed at the committee, we just really took the year in review, what we had done to change and enforce the Constitution over the year, some of the things we were looking forward in regards to the Constitution and policies of the association for the next year, which is mainly just ensuring clearer language, modernizing any parts of the Constitution that might need a little more clarity, a little less antiquated language, maybe creating a short 1 or 2 page summary of the Constitution for next year's building representatives, and yeah, stuff to that effect. Additionally, one other item that the committee had agreed on and will be introduced later this year is to make the executives of 2020-2021 honorary members of the association. So that's another item that will be introduced later today. And that is all the business that was discussed at the last meeting of our committee. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Davin. We'll move on to 7.2, which is the Food Services Committee. So we have a representative or chair from the FSC committee now has the floor.
Hi, so basically we had our meeting a few weeks ago, and our meeting takeaways were basically to help set up the next executive team for more suggestions in terms of like CAF and food services meetings. So basically the main takeaway is that this year, because of COVID, we weren't able to really coordinate with the kitchen managers. So next year, that's really one thing that we want to have planned, like a meeting or a consultation with Kevin and Chad, and that the future committee team will be able to be more hands-on in terms of possible working with dietitians and stuff like that. And of course, we don't really know what's going to happen next year specifically. But in terms of this year, we're still trying to have like an end of the year, because apparently last year when things were normal, people living on residence had like carnivals and different themed nights for the end of the year. We're not sure if this can happen this year, but we're trying to make sure that next year, the next executive team can help the next people who are going to live in residence have these possible committees. That's really just a short meeting from us.
Okay, thank you, Drew. We'll move on to 7.3, which is the Residence Issues Committee. So we have a member, chair representative from the RIC committee now has the floor. Sorry, I keep stumbling.
Yeah, for sure. So we actually met twice this month because we decided we wanted to plan one more final campaign with everyone in residence. So it's going to be focused on like study tips, exams and all that good stuff. We were originally going to be calling it RRRA, like with a little pun, but it doesn't really make sense because who wants to relax during exams? So now it's kind of just inspirational messages, showing where some counselors like to study, all that good stuff. And there's going to be some pretty cool prizes, as Jay was saying earlier, being AirPods. So if you guys, also students are encouraged to post on their stories, taking their favorite study spot for entries to this for the prizes, which is kind of cool. And yeah, that's pretty much everything going on. And also with residence apparel, pretty cool stuff. I'm excited for all that stuff to come in. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. Personally, I love RRRA. That sounds hilariously fun. We'll move on to 7.4, which is the Political Action and Sustainability Committee. So if we have a chair or representative from PAC, I messed up there. Anyways, you now have the floor.
Hi, everyone. So we had our last meeting on March 25th. And as you know, as you probably know, we were working towards getting a plastic bag recycling in residence commons. Unfortunately, it's become clear that this isn't a viable possibility because there are no major recycling facilities in Ottawa that accept plastic bags and can actually properly recycle them. However, there has been a reduction in plastic bag and straw use in the CAF due to the new policies being used when handing them out. You've probably all seen the signs about plastic bags and straws. Looking to the future, the work this committee has done has made it clear that it's much easier for committees to meet directly with facilities. So as the new facility team comes in next year, that's something that will continue to occur, hopefully. And this will change the chain of communication and hopefully speed up projects in the future. All in all, while there were some disappointments, I'm really proud of what my committee has done, and I thank all of you for your support in our initiatives.
Thank you, Catherine. We'll move on to the Special Events and Community Outreach Committee. You now have the floor, Chair or Representative.
Hi, everyone. So we just had a really quick meeting last Wednesday, and we talked about the events that we had. And as Jenna mentioned, the two upcoming events, which is the speed mingling on Friday and the Jeopardy next Wednesday. And that's basically it.
Okay, thank you, Morgan. We'll now move on to our last committee, which is the COVID-19 Committee, C19.
Hey, so we just met once this month and we've just discussed about doing a thank you infographic for residents, students, and we're putting out a video. We've made the script already and we're going to film it by next week and put it out for the end of residence just to say thank you to everyone for staying safe and everything like that and making residents such a good year. And I just want to say thank you to the committee and thank you to Jay and Jordan for working really hard on all the infographics we make them make. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Morgan. With that being said, we're going to move on to motion 8.0, which is the motion to correct previously approved minutes. So if we could just scroll down, Jay, sorry, Jordan. Okay, we're gonna vote to pass the floor to Davin so he can present this motion. So if everyone can just raise your hand to vote to pass the floor to Davin so he can have speaking rights to present on this motion in further details. Sash, give me a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. This motion has passed. Davin, you now have the floor to present this motion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just read straight up from the motion text as it is on screen. So the preamble, whereas the policies of RRRA and amendments to those policies require a majority of all members to pass, and whereas the motion named 11.0, motion to enact amendments to bylaw 1 council at the February 28th, 2021 regular meeting of council received 15 votes in favor and 6 opposed, And whereas such an amount is not only a clear majority of voters present, but a majority of all members of council, including those not present. And whereas describing that motion as failed would be in contravention of raw legislation and the Constitution, information transfer, be resolved that in the meeting minutes of the February 28, 2021 meeting be corrected by striking out the word defeated and inserting passes. If I could speak to motivate this motion, essentially, this is a pretty boilerplate correction of just a kind of clerical error that was made in the meeting minutes from our last regular meeting, and I just wanted to correct that to make this motion be a full force and effect upon the association. We've already discussed it at length, and I think the vote of council was pretty clear here. In the record is 15 in favor and 6 opposed. So I really would just encourage everyone to pass this motion to correct the minutes and make sure that we do follow the Constitution, the policy of the Z organization, and correct our mistake that we made before. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all I have to say on this matter.
Okay, thank you, Davin, for your presentation. With that being said, I'm now going to present the information transfer. If I can have everyone please lower your hands so then when presented, we can then officially vote on it with a clean slate. So Morgan and Megan, you would still have your hands up. If you guys could lower your hands, that would be awesome. Thank you. So the information transfer presents, be it resolved that the meeting minutes for the February 28th, 2021 meeting be corrected by striking out the word defeated and inserting the word passes. So this motion is being moved by Davin and seconded by Jaden. With that being said, can everyone please vote to approve on this motion? Pass. Oh, okay, perfect. This motion passes. Thank you. We'll now move on to motion 9.0, which is the motion to make the 2020-2021 executives honorary members of RRRA. Okay, Davin, would you like the floor specifically to present this motion, or would you just like me to present the preamble as it is said?
I'm really fine either way, Q.
Okay, so can we just vote to pass the floor to Davin so he can present this motion? Can everyone raise their hand to approve to give speaking rights to Davin? Okay, thank you, Sash. That being said, this motion passes. Davin, you now have speaking rights to present the preamble.
Of course, thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry, it seems like I'm talking a lot today. But this is the motion to make the 2020-2021 executives honorary members of RRRA. Here's the preamble. Whereas the outgoing president or executive have invariably been made honorary members of student associations here at Carleton University, and whereas President Jaden Slaughter has re-legitimized the association through prudent financial management and good representation of RRRA to other organizations, and whereas Vice President Administration Sash Mahara has adapted council well with the introduction of building representatives and kept RRRA's businesses in sound operation during this pandemic year, and whereas Vice President Programming Jenna Smith has kept students engaged with online programming and educational campaigns, and whereas all three executives reached the end of their term here at the Rideau River Residence Association, and whereas it is the right of council under Article 6, Section 2.1a of the Constitution to confer honorary membership upon any individuals as so chosen. I'll leave Q to read the information transfer. And if I could motivate this motion, I just wanted to further this motion as a goodbye, as a retirement present to our executives at the end of their term here. As just a way for council to show our appreciation for their hard work over the past year. I think they've done a praiseworthy job, and I guess this is the praise of which they are worth in this honorary members motion. It would just, it's really just a symbolic recognition of what they've done. Being an honorary member of RRRA it gives you basically just the right to speak at council meetings, same as any other resident student. And I think that's a pretty fitting gift, a parting present for our execs. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all I have to say on this matter.
Thank you, Davin. With that being said, I see 4 hands currently up. Are those 4 questions or comments based on the motion, or are those just okay and they disappear? Mira, do you still have a question or comment or would like speaking rights?
Oops, my bad. I just gotta lower it.
Okay, thank you. No worries. With that being said, as I see there are no question, comments, or concerns, I'll be presenting the information transfer. So be it resolved that the RRRA Council confer the title of honorary member of the association to Jaden Slaughter, Sash Mahara, and Jenna Smith without fee for life. This motion is being moved by Davin and seconded by Victoria. With that being said, can all voting members please raise their hand to approve this motion? Okay, thank you, Sash. That motion passes. Congratulations. Okay, so with that being said, motion 10.0, council chair remarks. So I am giving myself the floor. What did I want to say? I just want to say thank you guys for the amazing year. From being council chair in the last 2 years, I can 110% say this has been my most favorite and most active year ever. You guys are all incredible student leaders who took up and took a step forward amid a global pandemic to lead your little communities on your floor. Honestly, I was thoroughly impressed with the way you guys handled, carried yourself throughout this year. So a big thank you to all of you guys for making RRRA Council so fun. With that being said, I also want to give a great big congratulations to the 3 executives for leading an incredible year. Thank you, Sash, Jenna, and Jaden for the opportunity to be council chair. And a big special red heart to Jaden for the opportunity for giving me council chair for the last 2 years. This is my little goodbye to RRRA after being DEO, CEO, and council chair for the last 2 years. Thank you, RRRA. Peace out. Okay, that was my little speech. With that being said, does anybody have any other business to bring up or address? Okay, cute. I'll pass on the floor to the 3 executives to give something closing to say inspirationally before.
LOL. No, I think I said everything in my report that I have left to say, but again, it's been said a lot, but this has really been like such a growing year for RRRA, and I just want to thank each and every one of you again, and wishing you the best of luck on your exams and whatever you hope to accomplish next.
Yeah, thank you all for the honorary member status. That is so nice. Thank you, Davin. Thank you, all of you. I hope you guys continue getting involved, and I hope to see you guys next year as well. So yeah, I hope you have an amazing summer. Good luck on exams. I know you're all gonna kill it. Stressful times, but it's almost done. So yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, and I just want to come in and pretty much just repeat that as well. Thank you guys, and thank you everyone, every counselor, and even our guests that have continued to show up too. Just really appreciate the people that took the time and effort to come out to our events and repost our marketing and help spread the word of the association and our events and what we're doing. And even though the residence community was a lot smaller this year than other years, I honestly think the engagement has been the same, if not even better. We've just seen so much more passion and attention from students, and I'm just so thankful for that. And even in a year where I might not be seeing many of you in person, I still feel like I've made a lot of connections and met a lot of people. And I think that alone has just made it such a successful year for me. And so thank you to everyone. And as Jay mentioned, if you guys ever need a reference letter or letter of recommendation for future employment or things like that, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll definitely give you guys star reviews. And good luck everyone on their exams. Keep your head up, light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing. And I'm sure you all have such bright futures ahead of you, and we'll see each other around on campus, I'm sure. And please don't be afraid to say hi if you see me. Thank you guys.
Because you're the best and you did an amazing job this year. So
before we end, I also did forget that we didn't vote to adjourn the meeting. So while I pass that, can everyone please vote with a red heart to adjourn today's meeting? Motion to adjourn meeting. Okay, this motion clearly passes. Big round of applause to everyone.
woohoo. That's a wrap.
Okay, yeah, that was our goodbye.
Bye everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your semester. Have a good summer. Stay safe.